Well, it's been a while since I've posted a video, so I figure I'd better get busy. My beds were attacked by my chickens, so they didn't do too well, and now that I built a fence to keep my chickens out, those darn squirrels have got to me. I bought one of those squirrel traps from Amazon. Works really well, but my wife read somewhere that when you trap a squirrel and you release them, they have a great chance of not surviving. The other only way to get rid of them, she said, is to dispatch them. Well, she wouldn't let me dispatch them either. So that one squirrel I caught, I had to let it go again in the backyard. And what are they doing? They're eating up my garden. The dogs tend to chase them away when they can see them, but I think the squirrels get up pretty early in the morning because sometimes I get up and my garden's eaten away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a video on some PVC covers I'm gonna make for them. They're gonna be light, so I can pick them up, take them off. I will have to do some rerouting on my water lines because my water line's running over my beds right now, but I think it'll be okay. I'll just drill some holes in the edge of the beds and draw the lines through, and maybe do a better job at getting water separation throughout the low bed. But I'm going to be building about, I think, maybe four more raised gardens. I've slowly moved some of my plants into this area that's fenced off. I redid my compost bins. I've gotten both, two of my rollers sitting there, and then I have another one that I picked up for free actually. Posted an ad and somebody said, come get them, I don't want them. I had to kind of clean them up because the latches were all rusted, but for free, you know, they're the lifetime ones, and they work really well. So what I'm doing is, as I build and make my compost in the green bin, I move it over to these when they're done, and I've been doing really well because I'm getting a lot of chicken crap from my chickens and all the medium that I'm using in the chicken coop. Of course, my grass clippings. My neighbor next door has a tree that drops a lot of leaves, so I'm getting my brown leaves from her, and I'm going to make a lot of compost this year. So let's show you what the squirrels have done to my garden so far, and let's see if we can take care of that. So here's the bed that I'm going to work on right now, and the soil, I really did a good job at the beginning of the winter by taking the soil and really putting a lot of nutrients in there with compost that I had already made from the previous year. But you can see I had cauliflower planted there, and they really came in and ate up my cauliflower plants. They're starting to get new leaves, so hopefully they'll come back. I've got that one. That little one in the corner was completely eaten away, but it's coming back. My broccoli is starting to, you know, get its clusters, so I don't want to eat that. You can see this is a broccoli plant that they ate. They didn't touch any of my radishes. I bought about $39 in parts, not including the wire, because I had that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct the bottom piece, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the top piece, hook them together so I have my top and my bottom. I'm going to put everything together without glue right now to see how it works and decide if I want to make the uprights longer. I'm going to do the uprights probably right about 24 inches right now. I have broccoli growing in there, some cauliflower, radishes, and if I have to I can take it apart and I can increase those uprights. On one of my pieces I had to cut down about an inch so that it would fit exactly over the frame. After I put on all the couplings and stuff, it increased the size of my pieces, so I'm just going to cut off an inch on each one of these. Actually a little bit more. So that's the final piece before I put on the wiring. Definitely tall enough for a lot of things to grow in there. Yeah, so it's just over 24 inches in height. And what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and start getting that wire on there. So what's nice about it, and I actually lucked out, is the size of the wire that I'm using is actually just wide enough to do one ring around the cage. So I didn't have to go buy any more wire, and I didn't have to decrease or increase the size of my cage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish zip typing this thing around, and we'll show you what it is when I get done. One thing I can tell you, if you're going to use zip ties, make sure you get the outdoor. They have some that are made for outdoor. These are the ones I had left are not. So I'm only going to put enough to kind of keep the wire on for now and go back and buy some of the outdoor ones, because these things will, with sun, will just crumble away and snap. Uh, Now, you could use wire, um, but zip ties are kind of nice just because they're fast and easy, and they're actually not that expensive. So um, all I got to do is do the bottom, find some wire to put over the top, and so far it's coming out pretty good. That's how easy it was for the top to become the bottom. So let me get this top level done now, and then we'll show you what happens next. So I think I'm done. I ran out of the oval chicken wire I had, but I still had some of this 2x3 rectangle wire. I did that with the top, and I still zip tied the top on, except when I cut this rectangle, I left a long piece on the edge, if you can see it like that, those long pieces, and I folded it over along the seam, so it saved me some zip ties, and it's actually more secure doing it that way. And I wrapped a wire on each end until I figured out how I want to secure it so the squirrels, because they're pretty smart, so they don't kind of push it up or move it over. It's all secure, it's ready to go. Hopefully this will keep me from having to dispatch the squirrels when my wife's not looking. But we'll see how it works. We're done for tonight. I got all the zip ties cut off so it looks good. It's getting a little dark here, so from beginning to end, the project took me, and that's even going to the hardware store, the project took me about an hour and a half. And that's using a quick cutter with the PVC, not gluing. But the wire's probably going to keep everything together, and this way if I don't like it, I can take it apart, make it taller, make it shorter, make it smaller. For now, probably when I do the next beds, they will be secured once I figure out this is how I want to do things. But I think that's going to keep everything out. It's going to give open space for the pollinators to come in, and it's tall enough to really grow a variety of things in there. What I'm going to do is still run the water lines in there, and I'll make a video on how I do that. So everybody have a great night, and I think I'm going to go and have some dinner now. Thank you for watching.